Moviesucktastic is a podcast about bad movies and the people that love them. But it's more than just a podcast, it's also an online presence. If you want to know more about Moviesucktastic or want to become a part of Moviesucktastic, you can find us on Facebook, you can find us on Twitter at Moviesucktastic, you can find our blog at boothreviews.blogspot.com, or if you want to give your own reviews that we might use on the show, you can go to reviews.moviesucktastic.com and check out our own little lunch.com community for Moviesucktastic. Check us out and become a part of the show, because the only thing more fun than a bad movie is sharing it.
You are listening to Moviesucktastic.
Now we got drinks? Oh, they free.
It all sounds like some bad movie.
Hey, all right. We are back. We are continuing our Oscar. This is the first one of the new Oscar season. We last week did our Oscar nominations. This week we are actually reviewing films. So, also, our stream is working. I don't know if you see it.
Yay!
The link I sent you should be working. So, here's the thing.
My preparation will not have gone to waste.
Well, here's the thing. I shouldn't have to click on the fucking stream key or to open the page where the stream actually exists for it to work. I shouldn't have to do that. It shouldn't be one of the things I need to do.
This is Y2K... just working itself out, and what's actually going to destroy humankind is going to be just being aggravated that the computers don't listen anymore.
I mean, what I should be able to do is click start streaming, and then it's supposed to fucking do that. That's what's supposed to happen.
How come? As that's every call I get. How come it doesn't do what I want it to do? I was like, I don't know.
Well, you know what's funny?
Maybe your expectations are too high.
There is only 2 Terminator films that my kids can watch, and that's
the worst ones.
It's Terminator Genesis isn't that bad.
Is that the newest one? I still haven't seen
No,
it.
Terminator Terminator Dark Fate is the newest one, and that one's rated R.
I saw the one before that.
But Terminator Salvation is the one with Christian Bale from 2009.
Oh, that one's horrible.
It's PG-13.
Yeah, that's horrible. No. The new ones with the older Arnold, yes. I think they're stupid as hell, and that's why they're making them. You know, there's no reason to complain about plot holes and stuff. They're just fun.
Well, Terminator Genesis, which came out in...
Except for part 2. Fuck that. I mean 3. Fuck that. Sorry, go ahead.
Well, that was right before Schwarzenegger became governor of California.
Right. So that's why they had to introduce the Terminatrix. Yeah, you don't hear that one popping up a lot in the Me Too movement. When they broke through. So no one was happy about that. Not even the women. No.
But Terminator Genesis was actually not bad. I think it came out in 2015 or 2016, something like that.
And it was fun.
It was fun. Well, anyway, it's funny that you mentioned about how the machines and they're not doing what I say anymore. It's like my kids have been completely fascinated with Terminator lately, and I can only show them 2 movies. Those are the only ones they can get to watch. They are a few years away before we can start watching the R-rated ones.
Can they watch RoboCop?
RoboCop 3. It's PG-13. I am not going to do that to my kids.
Come on. What year did the Terminator come out?
The first one was 84.
Yes,
84. First one.
Okay, so I saw it in 85. So
same here. VHS.
Right. So 73. I was 12 years old. How old are your kids?
It's they're
I'm
8.
only asking it.
They're 8, and Danny is 10. He'll be 11 in June.
I feel bad that I asked that, but I still have to count on my fingers to figure out how close I am to 50. So I'm sorry I can't remember their ages.
No, it's fine. It's fine. But here's the thing: we're from a different generation. My parents let me watch anything I wanted, and I don't know if I want my kids to watch Terminator at 12. I'm sure they'll be fine. I know Danny will be fine. That kid is all me when it comes to films. He can watch anything and be fine. He can watch anything and not have a nightmare. He'll just go right to sleep. Sebastian, my other son, on the other hand, if he watches something that's even remotely scary, he's gonna come crawl into our bed. He's just a sweet boy. So Danny he's definitely hardened. For 10 years old, this kid is hardened.
By the description you've given me, Danny is like the one that takes the axe to the family at the end of the horror film.
Let's not do that.
I'm just saying. Amityville's set up. Oh, it's a nice house. Everybody's gonna have fun. If that's our plot line, that's where it's going. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah, he's Corey Feldman in Jason 4 with the machete. Shaves his head, starts whacking away.
Yeah, he knows how to get the job done.
So it's funny you mention that because it's like, I can only show my kids 2 Terminator films.
Anyway, this is an Oscar show.
This is an Oscar show. This is our first.
Short, right?
We're keeping these at 30 minutes, and we're already 11 minutes in.
All right, so,
9 minutes. I'm sorry.
We're trying to we try to review all the best Oscar films for Best Picture, and anything else we can squeeze in on the side. But our concentration as a team.
Yeah. Let's keep it short because I really do want to keep this at 30 minutes.
Yeah. So the 2 of us are just teaming up on the Best Pictures.
Correct.
Right.
And we're starting off with Nomadland. This is going to be episode 333. Now, I just want to get this right off the bat. This film, it's a film.
Okay, don't.
But what?
I'm just worried. I just hope this isn't going to go down the wrong path. That's all I'm saying.
Oh, please, no. That's
when you start right out of the gate with hear me about this.
No, that's not. That is nowhere near what I'm about to say.
I'm just saying, go easy on me. I'm fragile right now.
No, that's
okay.
No. What I was merely going to point out is that even though it's a movie, in a lot of parts, it plays like a documentary because there are a lot of people playing fictionalized versions of themselves, but are actually nomads. Mm-hmm. So there's quite a few. I think there's upwards of 3 main characters that are actually nomads, and then there are a lot of supporting characters that you see in like groups and crowds that are actually nomads. And when you watch this film, it definitely feels like a lot of scenes that aren't with, like, say, Francis McDormand, David Stratham, I think that's how you pronounce his name, where it seems like it's almost improv, like the scene where she's learning how to fix a tire. That scene right there, I can guarantee you that is a how to fix a tire with someone that really knows how to do it with an actual nomad crowd, and Francis McDormand is doing it for the first time and learning as if she's going to live this nomad lifestyle, and her reaction to fixing that tire in that scene, in my opinion, I don't know this, I haven't looked it up, it has to be real. It has to be real. It's not acted in any way. I can guarantee you that scene is just
I don't know how it
it's
works.
genuine.
Like, it's obviously people knew they were being filmed and they knew it was a movie.
Yeah,
but
and there are lines, like, you know, the nomads that are in the movie have actual lines, and they deliver them, and they act.
Right. Well, all I'm getting at is that I've read a couple of things where they were shocked. It was, you know, this one guy didn't realize that
Frances McDormand.
Frances McDormand. That's what I said.
Yeah.
Frances McDormand. They didn't recognize her. There's one scene where she's talking about her husband dying. And after they were filming, the one guy, real world guy, started, you know, telling her, "Oh, I'm sorry about your father. He was really strong to you you know." And then they're like, "Oh, silly rabbit, I'm from Hollywood. None of this is real." And they obviously did it on purpose to get that kind of raw feel. It's kind of, I don't know if you'd want to call it cinema verite, but that is very just exposing. Like kind of like exposing the underbelly,
right?
If you want to be crude.
So the film does play in a lot of parts. By the way, act like a documentary.
I like that whole story of like people on set not even realizing who she is. I like it both ways. I like it from the whole idea of, this is interesting, and I also like it from the fuck you. See, not everybody knows who the fuck you are. You're useless. You don't mean anything to the real world. These are the real people. You suck.
Wow.
But you could enjoy both sides of that, so it comes out being, you know, just rational.
Yeah.
I mean, it's.
I mean, the director of the film, Chloe Zoe. That can't be a real name. Oh, Chloe Zhao. I'm sorry, Zhao. So it's Chloe Zhao. I think Chloe Zoe. It's like you made that up. Stop it. But that's not her name. I think it's Zhao. It's probably Zoe, How, or Zhao. I don't.
Well, now you've just ruined the whole film. I can't even enjoy it now with this. Hatchery.
It was directed by Chloe Zoe. It's
okay.
No. It could even be Chow. I don't even know. But anyway, my mistake. So anyway, the director of the film, has she done anything else? She's done a few things, mostly shorts. She's directed 2 films before this. One in 2015, one in 2017. The one in 2015 is called Songs My Brothers Taught Me and The Rider, and then this.
Right, and this is an adaptation of a novel.
And interestingly enough, this usually happens, and I don't know why, but whenever anyone gets any kind of Oscar buzz, and I'm assuming she got this before, but maybe not. She's directing Marvel's Eternals, the Eternals film.
Yeah, that's come up.
I mean, they do that.
I've seen that pop up.
They do that. Hollywood does that. They're like, oh, here's an Oscar-nominated, possibly winning director. Let's get her to do an action movie. You know, they did that with Ang Lee. You know, they did it with Ang Lee. They did it with a couple. I can't remember off the top of my head, but they did it with a couple of other directors.
Because that's a genre that even if the film sucks shit, you're still going to break even just on prints and advertising and whatever. Like it's built. It's a business loss built into the market. Where what's going to be our best piece of shit film out there?
Right. You know how I always used to say, nothing bombs anymore. Yeah, not till COVID. You got legitimate bombs now because no one's going to the movies.
You can't spend the money.
You know, and they're not making as much money as they would with video on demand or you know, streaming or any of that stuff. I mean, like all these, perfect example real quick. And I know we're doing Nomadland, but like say Coming to America, the sequel, that was going to be a big hit, whether you like it or not.
Was it?
It was. Whether you like it or not, that was going to be a big hit. Now, let's say that movie cost $100 million to make. I don't know how much it did, but it was definitely going to make $100 million. It didn't make anywhere near that with the deal with Amazon for streaming. Not one bit. Not one bit.
You know, the whole thing.
And there's a ton of movies like that.
With what's his face? With
Eddie Murphy.
Tenet.
Christopher Nolan, Robert Pattinson.
Christopher Nolan. getting all pissed off when they decided that they were going to stream it because they can't make the money.
Well, they tried theaters. They did try,
and that's where everybody that was the trigger that pretty much told everyone don't fucking try it because there's no money in it. We're dying here, and I understand under Christopher Nolan where he's pissed off because it makes his big movie look like a flop. But on the other hand, it's like, dude, it's a fucking pandemic. Take the business loss and act like the artist you pretend to be.
Well, didn't the movie didn't it do well despite a pandemic? Like in the middle of summer, like didn't it make like over $300 million?
It probably it's probably not a loss, but it's a loss in the sense that it was supposed to be the big fucking thing, and they were counting on it, and they were just able to squeak by. But it's definitely not it's not a ringing endorsement for ever going back to it again.
No,
or to give Nolan more money. I'm not saying not to. I'm saying from a studio perspective, it's like, oh, okay, so now your shit doesn't sell anymore.
Yeah.
Despite everything, and then,
yeah, it actually made $20 million its opening weekend in August when it came out, which that's for a pandemic, that's a fucking monster hit weekend. Mm-hmm. Because there are movies, it's the number one movie this weekend. It made $4 million. And all the theaters are open. They're all playing it as if it was, normal, but it's not making the money that it's making. It made $363 million worldwide. That's a lot of money during the middle of a pandemic. I mean, the pandemic started in March.
Right.
And we're only talking August.
And I think with Nomadland.
Oh, I'm sorry.
No. I'm bringing it back because this is a very, very important point. Is that this film was not planned for COVID. This has nothing. This film was based on a book and it has its own separate storyline.
It actually came out a month before COVID hit.
Well, what I'm saying is it wasn't made in anticipation of it. That's all I'm saying.
Definitely.
So the fact that it arrived at this point in time is very fortuitous for it because this whole idea of like the underbelly of America, and I use that term again, and I don't like using. I got to think of something else. But this is about like the American dream gone sour, and when you have massive layoffs or people losing jobs, high unemployment because of the COVID vaccine, people are afraid about healthcare. Those are your two major issues. This film is just another way of looking at how in America, I don't think I'm giving away a secret here. I mean, the whole idea of the film is how this economic situation we have in this country is eroding American individuality.
Right.
Like these people become nomads. I mean, like.
Well, the premise of the movie is that there is a town in I think it's true, Nevada. It actually happened. It was called Empire, I believe the name of the town was, and it's
not there anymore.
The zip code has been dissolved. It's just it's a dead town.
Whole town was built around a factory.
Gypsum factory
closed. Factory closed. Town closed. That's it. Yeah. Beginning and end.
So the story is Frances McDormand, or Fern is her name. Her husband dies, and she's working at this factory, and the factory closes. And like you said, the whole town died because that was everybody in town worked there. And when it closed, nobody had any money. No one was could pay their bills. They were basically forced to leave when the town died.
And it's such an extreme example, but it's the perfect example of this overall effect this country's been dealing with forever.
Well, it's like when Walmart comes into your town.
When I say it forever, I mean, post-industrial.
Oh, okay. But Walmart has done it. They go into these small towns where the town relies.
I'm saying Starbucks wasn't closing down for the pilgrims. I went back too far. That's why I'm just trying to scale it down.
Just a little.
All right.
But this gypsum factory setting, it's one. Now it's said in the little blurb in the beginning that there was
it's not really the setting.
Yeah.
either. And that's the whole. I mean, there is no real setting to the film. It goes through different states, different seasons. The film is as nomadic as the main character, and actually the film is the character. There aren't any scenes without her, without Fern. It's all Fern. So this is her reality. This is her film.
She's in every scene.
Right. So, but that's the whole point. Like, what's the setting? Well, there is no setting. Setting is America. America itself is the setting.
Right, and
so
it's her traveling and seeing all these different places and meeting all these different people. And
yeah,
there's like a bonfire and people they're all talking, and this woman is telling a story about how her friend who was retiring and he got sick and he bought this boat, and his whole plan was to travel and use this boat and just live life to the fullest after he retired, and he ended up getting sick and dying, and his boat was in the driveway. And he had passed away. So she was telling a story. It's like, you know what? I saw that. He was my friend. I retired as soon as I could. And now I'm traveling, and my boat is here in the desert. Things like that. Like there's many different reasons why people do things like this. And it's a very real situation in this country.
Right. And I think the whole individualism thing really comes out of the whole idea that she, her sister says you can stay with us. She has another nomad friend who connects back with his son and moves in with them, and he offers her to move in, and it all comes down to the fact that she doesn't want to be sucked into a larger family to be taken care of. She wants to work. She's a rugged individualist who is basically what they always say this country's built on. But because of her need to do that, she can't actually live a real life. No. She can't afford it. She can't. The one scene where she goes to visit her sister, and then she's in the backyard with the barbecue, and very fucking well these idiots have already been told what her background is, and these two polo shirt motherfuckers.
Oh, right.
Are just like chatting about, oh man, I wish I'd had money in 2008 to buy all this stuff up now, because now it's selling like hotcakes. Hey, and all I can see in my head is you and I in a theater watching this, and we're like bouncing in the seats. Get them. Oh, this is not going to play well with Fern. No. It's just, I was like, oh, I wonder. Forget the nomad thing. I just wanted to start stabbing people now. This is the natural progression of things, is it not? This can't be normal. The movie really gets me right there. But at the same time, what bothers the whole thing about there being real people, real nomads in this film bothers me. And you can. I'm not one that's big into complaining about exploitation.
Right.
And you can exploit people and still have them be in on it. Like there's a paycheck involved, yeah. But I mean, nothing's more Hollywood than making a film based on a book, of course, because we have to have that pre-made market to sell it in. Making it supposedly, and it's not said that this is an altruistic process, but you kind of want to think that they're trying to get the word out about this problem.
Yeah.
But instead of making a documentary, because they don't make any money,
no,
we're gonna make a fiction film and blur the lines so we can get the reality in there, but we're still gonna make it a controlled reality so we can sell you with the propaganda tools we know and love, because that's entertainment, and there's nothing wrong with that. I like being manipulated myself. but you come to the end, we're like, oh yeah, here Norma McDonald. Another Oscar.
Wow. Frances McDormand.
Frances. She has too many men in her name. Frances McDormand. Up for another Oscar for her performance pretending to be a nomad, while all these real people that are suffering this issue aren't going to be able to watch the fucking Oscars.
They're not going to be able to
most
attend.
likely. Yeah, they definitely would be able to attend. They're not making any money off this.
In normal years, Frances McDormand would have probably brought a few nomads to the Oscars to be in the at least in the audience.
And again, I'm not saying it's a bad film. I'm not pulling a Rush Limbaugh on this. I'm not trying to twist it. I'm just
Ladies
saying
and
that
gentlemen.
if you're gonna make a documentary, make a documentary. If you're gonna do like a biography or something like that, do that. Don't sell me this pseudo documentary bullshit and then pass the whole thing off as the movie.
I'll tell you what. If this was a documentary, it probably would be winning best, an Oscar for best documentary.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because,
I mean,
not that I don't think it has a shot at best picture. I just think there are better movies than this.
I'm just kind of resentful that this is a topic that could have easily been a documentary, but we wanted to sell it more Hollywoody, and so we have to play pretend and act up on it and make an artistic statement about it instead of actually doing a documentary. That's what's rubbing me wrong about this. I was actually excited to see this film, but that kind of rubbed me a little wrong way on this. So I'm iffy. And with all that said, too,
yeah,
a little more plot would have been nice. I get what we're trying to do, but we could have done all that and still had like a wandering sociopath, stabbing people at the bus stops. And every time she leaves town, he seems to show up again. That would have taken anything away from this film. It would have made that much more interesting.
Well, I don't disagree. A little plot here and there is good to have.
And outside of that, when you're going for a documentary style, it's really hard for me to give you any kind of credit. I mean, there's some great shots in the film, too. There are great shots in a lot of documentaries. You have some great cinematographers. So doesn't make you a great director.
I didn't pull up the Oscar nominations. How many is this up for?
Oh, it's a bunch.
Here, actually, I have it right here. Nominated for 6 Oscars.
Yeah, I don't have it broken down that way.
No, I got it. It's nominated for Best Picture.
No.
Best Performance by an Actress in a Leading Role, Frances McDormand.
Well, you could say that if it was a documentary, you'd still want to give her Best Supporting Actress. I mean, or get Best Actress. You can't.
Well, she wouldn't get Best Actress if it was a documentary.
You know what I'm saying, though. It's like, it's just her.
Well, yeah.
She's getting it because it's her, not because of this film.
Best Directing for Chloe Zhao. Best Adapted Screenplay for Chloe Zhao. Best Achievement in Film Editing, Chloe Zhao. Oh, she edited the film, too. Mm-hmm. Interesting. Best Achievement in Cinematography, Joshua James Richards. So cinematography, I can see.
I don't want to be that guy, but I'm going to be that guy and say part of the reason this film has been nominated so prolifically is because it is an up-and-coming female artist. And
the trailer that I played, one of the raves was along the lines of there is no director on her level, or like she's the most inspiring, amazing director of her generation, or something like that.
Don't misunderstand me. I totally agree 100%. You should definitely want to be able to decide whether or not the gender of the artist actually makes the work better. I agree with you 100%. All I'm saying is that this film, I don't think, would have been nominated for as many categories if we didn't have 5 Best Pictures, and if we weren't trying to make we're still trying to make amends for how shitty white males are.
I'm not going to argue with that. Yeah, but it is also nominated for Best Director, and my theory on that alone means that it would have been one of the 5. What will it win? Are we done talking about the film? There really isn't too much to talk about because it's pretty straightforward.
It's okay. I can like the movie and still think it was boring. And I'm of that opinion. I liked the film. I watched the film. I enjoyed the film. It's still a boring film.
Yes, it is.
That's all.
It really is. And
I embraced it. I went with it. It was a good film. Still boring. So I don't think it deserves Best Picture, and I don't think it deserves. I don't know how you judge Best Director in a film like this. It feels. Anyway. Yeah. Maybe Best Adapted Screenplay. I haven't read the book, so I'm not familiar.
What's it up against?
Borat. The Father.
Wait, Borat is adapted screenplay?
It's probably because it's based on the character, or it's an adaptation of the comedic work. It might be in that kind of category.
That's interesting.
I don't know. I would have to look into that.
It's probably because of the HBO
I made up
show.
a lot of shit that sounds smart, and I have no basis for it whatsoever.
Okay.
But I hope I'm right. I think it'll win. It's not a bad film. It's a good film, and I think cinematography.
What's it up against cinematography wise? What else is it up against?
Judas and the Black Messiah.
Haven't
Mank.
seen it yet. Okay.
News of the World, which I really don't want to watch.
I actually do want to watch.
Why?
That. It's because I like Tom Hanks, and it's a western.
All right.
And every once in a while, I like to watch a western.
You saw the trailer, right?
I did see the trailer.
You've seen the film.
You've
seen the film. There's nothing left to that.
Nothing. Just Tom
That's
Hanks.
That's not a best of. That's just a summation. That's the film. If I'm wrong, tell me I'm wrong and I'll watch it. But
okay, I am gonna watch it.
All right, but tell me I'm wrong, because for me, I'm not refusing to watch it like I refuse to watch
Soul.
Soul. That I just flat out refuse to watch.
Any particular reason?
What?
Any particular reason?
I feel it's too exploitative.
Okay.
I don't like the idea of a kid's film focusing so heavily on the afterlife. It makes me uncomfortable. I don't think Disney should be doing that. Everyone should be afraid of Disney doing that. Pixar, whoever, any of them.
Well,
any of them.
Pete Docter is the director, and he is highly revered.
Don't care.
It doesn't matter. I think every movie that he has made has won Best Animated Picture. So I expect this to do the same. I don't. I do not expect another film.
I'm not going to make any judgment on it beyond my refusal to watch it.
I did like the film though, so I will say that. So yeah, I think cinematography is probably, and maybe screenplay are its best shots at an Oscar.
But I don't. Nothing in this film really stood out to me. I was like, oh, this is one of the best films from this year. Right. Granted, I have not been watching a lot of recent films this year. I've been going through the old stock. So, when we first read this list, I hadn't seen any of this stuff. So it's all been refreshing.
All right. Well, we're already past our time.
It's all your fault.
I know it is. I know it is. That we said we would do, but we are. It should be around a 40-minute episode. So
no, we're good.
We're good. All right. Let's go. It's currently at a 7.6.
Mm-hmm.
Seems kind of high for how boring it is.
I would go 7.
I wouldn't go 8 on this. 7, yeah, no. I would go 7 on this. I can respect its achievement. So 7 is 7's pretty damn good if you ask me.
Yeah, and if they want to give Frances McDormand an Oscar for looking as weathered as we all feel, fine. If that's what the criteria of a great actress is, I'm not going to argue.
Yeah, I don't. Who's she up against?
Viola Davis, Andra Day, Vanessa Kirby, and Carey Mulligan.
Might go to Viola Davis. That's for Ma Rainey's Black Bottom. Yeah, she might get that. So
yeah, I haven't watched. I've only watched 2 of the films in the Best Actress category so far. But you wrap up, and we'll get on to the next one, which is going to be speaking of.
Boring.
No, The American Dream. Minari.
Yes, repairing films. Yeah.
This is going to be an interesting conversation between you and me on this one.
Okay. All right. Again, this is our Oscar episodes. We do this once a year. It's the one time a year we allow ourselves to watch quote unquote good films. So.
And they usually are.
I mean, I didn't hate Nomadland, and neither did Scott. We know that it's a boring ass film, but we respect the grounds that it's covered.
I just don't see it being that special.
It isn't. It truly isn't. It should have been It should have been a documentary, but it's not. Yeah. Whatever. So you can go to iTunes and you can listen to our show. You can do a search for Moviesucktastic in your favorite browser. Remember we used to do that? I used to say that. Oh, you can search for Moviesucktastic in your favorite browser, and Scott would go, Google it!
Well, because you're joking if you say there's a choice. It's Google. That's it.
It's pretty much Google. You can. Our website is under. Well, it's under duress, but I am currently in the
attack.
I'm in the process of redoing that. But it is Moviesucktastic.com. When it is up, that is going to be the URL. It's always going to be that. You can listen to our show there, and you can download the episodes as well. You can leave us email at themovieguys@moviesucktastic.com. You can leave us voicemail at 908-514-4470. And, that's it. That's all I got.
That's all you got?
That's it. Join us next for Minari. That's going to be our next episode. Do you have any words of wisdom for this?
It's not exploitation if you invite the homeless to your Oscar show.
Ooh. Okay. Hey. Can't argue. All right, everybody.
I don't expect you to.
I'm not gonna. We'll talk to you next week. Bye-bye.
Bye.